Hello everybody, this is section 8 of the Beating Chronic Lyme book. We have a lot to go through in this section because we really get into looking at how to treat it. Remember I said there's 3 phases. The acute stage has that window of opportunity that you by all means want to catch. And my opinion is you would find somebody who would prescribe you antibiotics. The second stage happens as soon as one of those Borrelia bacteria enter into a cell. How do I know that I'm not in that stage? That's the question I get. I had antibiotics, it knocked it out of me, I feel fine. Did I catch it in the window? The answer is you don't know yet. So you don't know it yet. Why? Because you knocked it out of the blood and out of the extracellular space with that antibiotic and you feel fantastic. Give it some time. So if it comes back, so it came back again 2 months later, 1 month later, 2 weeks later, after I stopped taking antibiotics, you are already in the chronic stage. So you take antibiotics again, oh my gosh, I felt so much better. I took the antibiotics, it knocked it right out of me again. Well, it's intracellular still, so it's most likely going to keep coming back, and then you are in a problem because you can move from the chronic phase to the autoimmune phase, and you do not want to do that. So you want to make sure that you try to treat it with some herbals and some different protocols. Cat's claw, some of the things that we talked about, and we'll talk about in the next section as well. Now we're going to talk about this stage 3 autoimmune phase, and the way to understand that is to understand the immune system. So let's go back to a little Immunology 101. If you remember from your college days, you have 2 distinct parts of your immune system. You have more. I already talked about the Th17 response. These Th1 and Th2 come from a Th0 regulatory T cells. We're not going to get in too deep in this, so let's just keep it trying as simple as possible. So you have 2 main responses of your immune system, your Th1 and your Th2. Now normally they are in balance. Think of the Th1 side as the killer cell side, and think of the Th2 side as the FBI CIA. So the killer side, the Th1 side, consists of a bunch of chemokines and cytokines and macrophages and white blood cells that their main response is to destroy an enemy. So they are the Marine Corps of your body. You want them very healthy, but that you don't want them in overproduction so that they're looking for enemies in all the wrong places, and you could develop an autoimmune issue. So normally they're in balance. So there's different, out of that Th0 regulatory T cell, you produce Th1 cells and Th2 cells. The Th1, like I said, are responding mainly to destroy pathogens. The Th2 side is mainly responding to create antibodies, so therefore the Th1 side can find out where the pathogen is and kill it more readily. So normally in your body, you have a cold. You have a virus that enters into your body and it's circulating in your bloodstream. Your immune system senses that this pathogen is virulent, so it fires a Th1 little blurb, meaning you secrete more Th1 cells, kills the pathogen, everything goes back into balance. You never knew you were sick. This happens literally daily. You're exposed to pathogens, you have a little blip of your Th1 side, kills it, goes back into balance, you never felt sick. Well, you weren't sick because your immune system did its job and killed it. But let's say you have the flu. It's a really nasty flu that you're exposed to. You fire a Th1 response, can't kill it, fires higher, can't kill it, fires more. That means you have more circulating Th1 cytokines and chemokines. Still can't kill it. Then your Th1 side pulls down. Your Th2 side fires, makes antibodies to that pathogen. Now your Th1 side fires again and kills that pathogen. That's normal immunity. That's a normal immune response in a person's body. But they were sick when they were in this hyper Th1 side. They had a fever, they felt kind of bloated, they didn't feel good. They went home, ate some chicken soup, took the day off the next day. They had a Th1, Th2 response, and it worked and it killed that disease. That's normal immune response. Okay? So when you're exposed to a pathogen like Borrelia, it goes into your body. You may or may not get a rash. you have a Th1 response. It fires this hyper Th1 response. You feel sick, you have a temperature. What is a temperature? It's an increased immune response. Flood of Th1 cytokines. Is the temperature good? Yes, it is. You don't want to get the temperature down. You want your Th1 side to kill the pathogen. So whatever it is, you want to kill it. Foolish thing to do is take your kid and give them something to get their fever down. Yeah, you don't want too high of a fever, but you want a fever high enough to be able to kill that pathogen. That's a normal response of your body. So you're not yet in an autoimmune disorder yet. So you're going back and forth from this hyper Th1 response to a Th2 response in order to make antibodies to kill that pathogen. The problem is that if you go back and forth like this, like in a case like Lyme disease, so Lyme disease becomes autoimmune when you fire this Th1, Th2 response, Th1, Th2 response, Th1, Th2 response, numerous times over the course of weeks and months. There's one bad thing that can happen. So every time you fire a Th2 response, that Th2 cytokines are looking for the enemy which the Th1 side initially fired against. So in the case of a virus, you fire this Th1 response, it can't kill that virus. You fire a Th2 response, the Th2 cytokines find that virus and go, there you are, we're going to tag you with an antibody. So it makes an antibody against that virus. Now when the Th1 response fires, those are tagged. Think of an antibody like fluorescent tape around an enemy. So now the Marine Corps could go in there and go, oh, there, it's tagged with fluorescent tape. We could go in there and find it and kill it. That's a normal response. But with a gram-negative bacteria like Borrelia, it has the ability to go inside the cells. When it goes inside the cells, your immune system, your Th2 side, can't find it. Your Th1 side can't kill it because it can't find it. Your Th2 side can't tag it because it can't find it. So it's looking for, where is it? Where is it? We got to take it with antibodies. Where is it? I knew it was right around this area. This is where the Th1 cytokines are, so we got to find it. It's right around this area. It can't find it. You do this over and over again. Pretty soon, you start making antibodies to your own cells. That's not a good thing. When you start creating antibodies to your own cells, you now, every time you fire a Th1 response, either because you have a cold or because you're stimulating it with Th1 stimulators, like cat's claw, vitamin C, echinacea, golden seal, things that you'll use that you will see as protocols in Lyme disease. These are Th1 stimulators. If you're going to stimulate the Th1 side of your immune system, when you already have antibodies to your own body, you are helping your body kill itself. If you're going to stimulate the immune system, and you already have an autoimmune issue, you are helping your body kill your own cells. You got that? It's really important. If you're already in the autoimmune phase, you cannot use Th1 stimulators. Okay? So Th1 dominant patients that are autoimmune do not do well with Th1 stimulators. Matter of fact, I said do not do well. They'll have symptoms they don't do well. But in real life, they are destroying their cells. So if you have antibodies to your own cerebellum, you have antibodies to your own myelin sheath, you have antibodies to your own neurons in your brain, and you fire a Th1 response by taking echinacea, cat's claw, vitamin C, any immune stimulants, most herbal stimulants, most things that are on the market for Lyme disease, anything that says an immune stimulant on it, you are destroying your own cells. Guess what? Don't do it. Stop taking it. Stop treating your disease this way. If you've moved beyond the chronic phase into the autoimmune phase, everything that you've been doing to that point on, you could actually be aiding your self-destruction. Paying for it on top of that. Bad move. Th1 dominant patients must consider alternate ways to treat the disease. They have to consider alternate ways to treat the disease. They can't stimulate an immune response. You cannot. Matter of fact, you want to suppress a Th1 response. Well, how in the world are you going to kill this disease? Well, you got to use things that will not stimulate a Th1 response. That's why I would recommend it'd be better, if you didn't know anything that I'm going to share in the rest of this chapter and the next few chapters, you do nothing. Or go on antibiotics again. You're going to destroy your body, but at least you're not going to, kill your body. We use things like MMS. You'll read about it in this chapter. These are and other non-Th1 stimulators. One of the biggest protocols we use is energetic medicine, energy medicine. We use the Rife machine. So we're going to have a whole chapter on the Rife machine here. So frequency medicine is a huge thing to kill Lyme disease and other pathogens like mold. So same book, I could just change every word to mold from Lyme disease, and it's the same process. So you have to look at other things. You have to look at other things to help strengthen brain and refire those different brain therapies, to refire those pathways, to create those neurological pathways that are damaged. So take home on this: you treat acute phase 1 Lyme disease as soon as possible with antibiotics. If you know that you are not yet in the autoimmune phase, you can try to use immune stimulants. That means, I don't think I'm in the autoimmune phase. I think I'm still in the chronic phase. Well, one of the ways you can tell, I'm going to take a bunch of vitamin C. I'm going to use some vitamin C type protocol. I'm going to use a high garlic protocol. I'm going to use cat's claw protocol. And I did super well. It really helped. It just knocked it out of me and stayed on that. Really, really helped. You are probably still in the chronic stage. Thank goodness. Congratulations. The problem is, you're probably listening to this or reading this book because you tried that and it didn't work because you're already autoimmune. So if the use of immune stimulants has not solved your symptoms, has not solved your problems, because it should solve them, there's a pretty good chance you're already autoimmune Lyme. You're already in phase 3. Or if your disease process is just quite aggressive, you can move into this quite quickly. Or if you have previous if previous Th1 stimulants have worsened your symptoms. So if you are in phase 3 autoimmune Lyme, call our office. Listen to the rest of this book. This is the end of this little presentation, but we'll get deep into what we do with chronic Lyme, because with the autoimmune piece, because those are the people that we see. All right, hope this helps. Listen to it a couple times if you have to. I know I talk super fast. I'll see you at the next section.